Welcome everyone. I'm Ryan Chan, CEO and founder of UpKeep. Today we're going to explore the fascinating world of asset performance in enterprises like plants, factories, and service providers. We'll look at how the entire life cycle of an asset from design to decommission impacts its performance and the total cost of ownership. We're going to uncover common pitfalls in the asset life cycle that can increase costs and how to avoid them. So, stick with us if you're interested in reducing failures, optimizing maintenance, and ultimately saving your company money. Let's get started. Asset performance is crucial in a plant, factory, or service provider company to deliver value for an organization. In the past, the focus was on optimizing maintenance to reduce failures and costs. But we've learned that asset performance depends a lot more on other phases of the asset life cycle, including how assets are designed, built, installed, and commissioned. So, let's discuss the asset life cycle and the impact of design, procurement, installation, commissioning, and operations and maintenance phases on total life cycle costs. We've seen that errors and omissions introduced during the design, build, and installation phases can increase both failure rates and operations and maintenance costs, thereby increasing total asset ownership costs. Now, let's dive into understanding how to avoid costly mistakes and reduce the total cost of ownership. Assets, whether it's a piece of equipment or an entire plant or factory, have 4 key stages in their life cycle. First, a need for the asset is established to provide a service or to make a product. Second, an asset is designed, built, purchased, installed, and commissioned. Third, the asset is operated, maintained, and improved to provide a service or to make a product. And finally, when the need is over, the asset is decommissioned and disposed of. The utilization phase, also known as operations and maintenance, and the acquisition phase are the key phases where most of the cost is incurred during the asset lifecycle. The majority of the cost occurs in the utilization phase, where the asset is actually utilized, producing something. This phase may last for 5 years, 20 years, 50 years, or even more than 80 years, depending on the type of asset. The other significant cost occurs in the acquisition phase. However, typically, we don't do a good job of identifying what we need and how much it will cost. Budgets are allocated too often as a part of capital projects and at a very high level, based on guesses. These budgets are then cut, resulting in an unreliable asset that costs a lot more during the operation phase. Let's break down the acquisition phase. It generally consists of the following subphases: specifications, design, purchase, build, and install or commission. This phase is very important in the asset lifecycle. We often don't do an adequate job of writing requirements and specifications. Either we don't know what we need, or we don't do a good job of explaining what and why we need something. Budgets are often cut from the top, either without explanation or because we haven't provided a reasonable justification for keeping reliability, availability, maintainability, safety, and sustainability requirements. Training of operations and maintenance workforce is often cut to a minimum or eliminated. We're advised that this could be done after assets are installed, which is not a good practice. Operations and maintenance manuals, drawings, and other documentation are often delayed or provided in a preliminary stage. However, if we do the right things in this phase, maybe spending a little more money, the asset's reliability and safe operation will be improved. This results in higher uptime, fewer failures, and lower the total cost of ownership during the asset's life cycle. To achieve this, we have to ensure that we design, procure, build, and install assets with reliability, availability, maintainability, safety, and sustainability principles. It requires a lot of extra effort, coordination, and understanding of reliability principles, as well as creating the right culture involving all of the stakeholders. The stakeholders who must ensure that we do the right things during the asset lifecycle include the asset owner, operations, capital projects, design, reliability, maintenance, operators, maintainers, planners, procurement professionals, quality, and human resources. All of these stakeholders are needed to create the right culture for implementing the 10 rights of asset management. These 10 rights will ensure that the asset is designed, built, and installed with reliability, availability, maintainability, safety, and sustainability principles. Here are the 10 rights. First, specify it right by providing the right requirements or specifications for reliable operations. Second, design it right by designing the asset with reliability, availability, maintainability, safety, and sustainability principles to minimize failures and ensure safe and efficient operation. Third, source it right by purchasing the best value components and assets. Fourth, build it right by fabricating or assembling with quality workmanship. Fifth, install or commission it right by installing with precision quality to eliminate infant mortality issues. Sixth, operate it right by operating safely with care as if you own it. Seventh, maintain it right by performing the right maintenance. Eighth, improve it right by applying the right tools and practices to improve the asset. Ninth, dispose of or decommission it right by disposing of it in an environmentally safe manner when the need is over. And 10th, manage it right by ensuring the right skill and talent in every role and establishing robust processes. Continuous engagement of all the stakeholders in doing the right things is essential during the asset lifecycle. We need assets that are reliable, have a high mean time between failures, have a low mean time to repair, and are safe to operate. Simply achieving this goal is a challenging task. Sustaining that goal is another challenging task, but also achievable. It requires a culture of reliability excellence. It means all the stakeholders are engaged all the time. Also, it means that the stakeholders are aware of the industry's best practices and implement them effectively. During the acquisition phase of the asset, when we are writing specifications, designing, procuring, building or constructing, and installing or commissioning the asset, we have ample opportunities to implement best practices. These practices would make the asset more reliable and safe to operate during the utilization phase. In addition, they will reduce the total cost of ownership for the entire life of the asset. And that wraps up our journey through the asset life cycle. We've discussed the importance of each phase, common pitfalls, and the 10 rights of asset management. Remember, the key to reducing failures and optimizing maintenance lies in understanding and applying these principles. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. To learn more about how UpKeep can help your team, visit us at upkeep.com. Your journey to better asset management starts here.